Speaking of Smash, actually there is a new technique in Smash 4 that's been exposed called Bidou, which was actually discovered a long time ago in Japan, but a popular channel called My Smash Corner recently posted a video all about the technique, how to perform it, the ways it can be used, and so on. If you're really interested in learning about that, you can go ahead and watch the video, but basically it means that you can perform advanced techniques way easier. None of us here can speak about the technique itself with particular insight, since we're not really competitive smashers, but I do know that it comes with its own set of pitfalls, because it essentially makes performing a bunch of other technical skills way easier, but at the same time the Bidou itself is a really, really technical move, so.
Yeah, I like to be in that little sweet spot where I can beat up on all my friends, but I'd get crushed if I went online, and I'm pretty content to stay there.
Yep. I've actually been a little surprised by how well I've done online, but certainly when I go up against a player that has any semblance of competitive skill, it all goes out the window.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see how this is actually going to evolve the metagame, because something like Melee, wave dashing is something that obviously just exploded what Melee was capable of doing, and what people were capable of doing within Melee. It's a huge part of the reason that the skill gap is so high. And so I'm curious to see, first of all, if the skill gap is really going to expand because of this. One of the interesting complications about it is that I believe it works best with like a Pro controller or the gamepad, so not the GameCube controller. In other words, not a wired controller, so there's latency. So the highest tier professional smashers are not going to like that part of it, and also because there's all these patches that come out for Smash 2, so who knows if they'll change something there. It's not a glitch, it's just a technique, but it's it seems like it probably wasn't intended.
Yeah, I'm always a little disheartened when exploits kind of dominate the metagame, because it seems like you were saying, that creates this massive skill gap between newcomers and hardcore players. And while I think it's great that competitive games, in competitive games, the more hardcore players, because they put in the time and they put in the practice and they perfect their skills, there is a pretty, big skill gap. That's a skill gap that's achieved through hard work. It's not a skill gap that's achieved through the game just being broken, and if you know the exploits, you can take advantage of them. I feel like in a game like Smash in particular, where it's designed to be approachable to newcomers, those kinds of things kind of push people away.
Right.
So, if this isn't intentional, I do kind of hope that they patch it.
Interesting. Hello everybody, thank you for listening to this Nintendo Week clip, NWC. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more highlights and discussion videos from Nintendo Week podcast, or subscribe to us on iTunes for weekly breakdowns of all your Nintendo news, discussion segments on subjects, games, and more, and tons of other features. Thanks for listening, and we will see you tomorrow with another NWC.